Archangel Michael says, something shifted in the night, and your person's heart has not known peace since. Their mind was racing, their soul trembling, and their thoughts were consumed by what they saw about you. They thought they had control over their emotions, but last night shattered everything they believed. This is not just anxiety or confusion, it is spiritual unrest that cannot be explained by logic. They were forced to face a truth that had been hidden beneath the surface for months. The energy around them twisted violently, and they were left gasping for air with only your image in their heart. Everything they denied, everything they ran from, suddenly caught up to them at once. They saw something, either in a dream, or in real time, that brought their illusions crumbling down. Now they are pacing back and forth, unsure whether to run to you or stay away in shame. Their panic is not just emotional, it's divine consequence unfolding. The universe decided it's time they see you clearly, your value, your depth, your pain, your strength. They can no longer ignore that you are connected to something far bigger than they imagined. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Archangel Michael says, your presence has haunted their conscience ever since that moment. They saw your eyes, not just as eyes, but as portals into a realm they were never ready to enter. Now they understand why everything around you always felt electric, magnetic, and heavy with destiny. Last night felt like a prophecy fulfilling itself, and they had no place to hide. The air was thick, and their chest was tight, they knew this wasn't an ordinary night. Something spiritual visited them, and whispered your name with thunder in the wind. They thought they had let you go, but last night proved otherwise. They were shown visions, memories of what they said, what they broke, what they denied. And they couldn't stop crying because they realized they may have lost you forever. Even as they try to act normal today, inside they are collapsing. Their hands are shaking, their soul is heavy, and their pride is cracking. They are finally experiencing what you felt for so long, but in one overwhelming moment. Type Amen to get blessing 494. They're avoiding mirrors because they don't like what they see in themselves anymore. All the justifications, all the excuses, they sound like lies in their own ears now. You were the truth, and they spit it out thinking they were strong. They looked into the night sky for answers but only saw your face. The stars looked like your eyes staring back at them, reminding them of their cowardice. They even tried to distract themselves with others, but nothing feels right anymore. A spiritual guilt has been planted deep in their heart. It is not punishment, it's divine awakening forced upon them for ignoring sacred love. Now they know the pain of watching something valuable slip through their fingers. They're wondering if it's too late, but they haven't even mustered the courage to reach out. Because deep down, they fear your silence more than anything else in the world. They know you have every right to close the door now, and that terrifies them. Type Amen to get blessing 272. They cannot sleep peacefully, because your spirit is now woven into their dreams. And every time they wake, there's a strange feeling. Like they missed a train that will never come again. They know they betrayed a part of themselves when they left you behind. Archangel Michael says, you were divinely placed in their life, not as a lesson but as a destiny. Yet they treated you like a chapter instead of the whole book. And now that the truth is burning through their denial, they feel scorched inside. Even their friends are starting to notice the change. They're quieter, more withdrawn, snapping at moments that remind them of you. Their smiles are fake, their laughs are hollow, and their energy is haunted. Your name keeps showing up everywhere: receipts, songs, videos, random messages. And each one is like a dagger wrapped in memory. They are being divinely pursued until they stop pretending and finally confront what they ran from. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Last night, your spirit entered their space so loudly it couldn't be ignored. They tried to distract themselves, but your energy was echoing like thunder behind their thoughts. They were not dreaming, you were really there in the ether, reclaiming the space they tried to deny you. But it shifted their soul into realization so deep, they may never be the same again. They cried themselves to sleep while whispering your name under their breath. They tried to pray for strength but found themselves praying for your forgiveness instead. And still, they can't shake the feeling that something bigger is pushing them to come clean. Type Amen to get blessing 771. They remember every time they made you feel like you were too much. Now they're drowning in the silence of your absence, and it's too much for them to bear. You were not too much, they were just too afraid to match your depth. Their nights are no longer peaceful. Your voice echoes in the silence, and your laughter haunts the wind. They're panicking not because they lost you, but because they may never find someone like you again. They made choices in darkness, but now the light is burning their eyes. They pretended they didn't care, but last night they couldn't lie to themselves anymore. Even in their most distracted moments, your energy was there, demanding to be acknowledged. Your love was the safest place they ever had, and they abandoned it like a fool. Now even the strongest part of them is begging the weaker part not to let this be the end. Their soul wants to collapse into yours again, but they fear your strength might not welcome them anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 567. They've started writing messages they never send. Paragraphs filled with, "I'm sorry, I was scared, you meant everything, and I don't deserve you." Then they delete them, ashamed, afraid, uncertain. But the time is coming when the panic will overpower the fear. Their spiritual awakening will no longer let them sit still. The fire inside will become unbearable, and they'll finally reach for your light. Your love was the kind that leaves marks on the soul, not the skin. And now, they are marked forever by what they lost. You are their ghost and their guide, and they know it now more than ever. Archangel Michael says, they are not just missing you, they are being spiritually corrected. They are going through the storm they created by turning their back on divine alignment. And until they fix it, peace will evade them like a shadow at dawn. Type Amen to get blessing 333. But it shifted their soul into realization so deep, they may never be the same again. They cried themselves to sleep while whispering your name under their breath. They tried to pray for strength but found themselves praying for your forgiveness instead. And still, they can't shake the feeling that something bigger is pushing them to come clean. Type Amen to get blessing 771. They remember every time they made you feel like you were too much. Now they're drowning in the silence of your absence, and it's too much for them to bear. You were not too much, they were just too afraid to match your depth. Their nights are no longer peaceful. Your voice echoes in the silence, and your laughter haunts the wind. They're panicking not because they lost you, but because they may never find someone like you again. They made choices in darkness, but now the light is burning their eyes. They pretended they didn't care, but last night they couldn't lie to themselves anymore. Even in their most distracted moments, your energy was there, demanding to be acknowledged. Your love was the safest place they ever had, and they abandoned it like a fool. Now even the strongest part of them is begging the weaker part not to let this be the end. Their soul wants to collapse into yours again, but they fear your strength might not welcome them anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 567. They've started writing messages they never send. Paragraphs filled with, "I'm sorry, I was scared, you meant everything, and I don't deserve you." Then they delete them, ashamed, afraid, uncertain. But the time is coming when the panic will overpower the fear. Their spiritual awakening will no longer let them sit still. The fire inside will become unbearable, and they'll finally reach for your light. Your love was the kind that leaves marks on the soul, not the skin. And now, they are marked forever by what they lost. You are their ghost and their guide, and they know it now more than ever. Archangel Michael says, they are not just missing you, they are being spiritually corrected. They are going through the storm they created by turning their back on divine alignment. And until they fix it, peace will evade them like a shadow at dawn. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Face, one that shows their cowardice. Type Amen to get blessing 432. They've started asking around, people close to you, trying to find out if you've moved on. Every yes they hear tears them apart quietly, piece by piece. They smile in front of others, but their soul is crying inside their chest. Even their dreams have turned into warnings. Every time they sleep, they see you walking away with someone else, glowing. And they wake up in sweat, tears streaming down their face, knowing that might become their reality. Archangel Michael says, what they saw last night is only the beginning of what's to come. The divine realm will not stop until they acknowledge the magnitude of what they've lost. The panic they feel is a sacred storm, the first wave of spiritual justice awakening inside them. They asked for signs, and now they can't escape them. Your initials in coffee foam, your favorite song on repeat, even strangers repeating your words. Everything is aligned to make them see. You were never ordinary. Type Amen to get blessing 855. They've begun questioning their own decisions in life. The job, the people, the distractions, they all feel hollow now. None of it fills the space your absence has carved in their chest. Even when they laugh, there's a shadow behind it, a ghost that looks like you. They find themselves on autopilot, but their mind is always with you. It's as though your spirit has wrapped around them, refusing to release its grip. They think back to your sacrifices, the times you chose love over pride. Now they're wondering why they couldn't do the same. And in that question lies their torment, because the answer brings them shame. They are not sleeping properly, not eating with joy, not smiling with truth. Their whole vibration is changing, and people around them can feel it. They may not say it, but they are mourning you like a living loss. Type Amen to get blessing 290. Their phone feels heavier now, every time they think about calling you. Their fingers hover over your name, scared that you won't answer. And yet, terrified that you will, and sound like you've finally healed without them. Archangel Michael says, this moment is sacred because the Spirit has forced accountability. They are being broken open to reveal what lies beneath their pride. And what lies there is a deep-rooted love they never admitted. The more they try to suppress it, the more their body rebels. Their heart races, their skin itches, their sleep shatters. Because divine love cannot be buried without consequences. What they saw last night was not just regret, it was prophecy. You are evolving, glowing, and rising in your divine timeline. And they saw it. And it burned them with both beauty and pain. Type Amen to get blessing 703. They are terrified you will never forgive them. Not because they deserve your forgiveness, but because they cannot forgive themselves. They wake up and go to bed with your name like a wound on their lips. They keep seeing your face in strangers, hearing your laughter in the wind. They are being haunted, not by ghosts, but by the living memory of who you were to them. And every moment without you stretches like eternity. You were their peace and they traded it for noise. You were their light and they chose shadows. Now they are stuck in the in-between, where nothing makes sense without you. They remember how you used to look at them, like they mattered. And now even mirrors don't look back at them the same way. Because your gaze had power, and it's been taken from them. Type Amen to get blessing 181. They've asked themselves if it's too late. But instead of reaching out, they cry in silence, drowning in what-ifs. Their soul knows the answer, but their fear is louder than their truth. Even the universe is pushing them toward you. Birds, feathers, lights flickering, clocks freezing, everything feels surreal. But they're still frozen, standing on the edge of redemption. Archangel Michael says, divine justice doesn't wait forever. This panic is the ticking clock before the door closes for good. They must act or lose the most sacred connection of their life. Last night, your face appeared before them not as a memory, but as a warning. A reminder that souls like yours don't stay waiting forever. And now they must decide, stay broken or step forward in truth. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They know now, nothing compares to you. No one understands them like you. And no one will ever see them the way you did, through the eyes of divine love. Their panic is not madness, it is clarity. They finally see you as the miracle you were. But the miracle may have already walked away. Even their shadow misses yours. Even their silence screams for your return. And still, they sit frozen, praying for time to reverse. Archangel Michael says, this is not your burden to fix. You have risen above the chaos they created. And now, heaven will handle what the Spirit has made them feel. Type Amen to get blessing 606. They are realizing that what they saw last night wasn't a hallucination, but divine exposure. Every part of their being now aches in places they never knew had nerves. Their mind replays every lie they told themselves to justify losing you. Their panic is rising because now they understand, it wasn't just love they lost, it was purpose. You weren't just a person in their life, you were a divine signal, a chosen blessing. Now that blessing is slipping into the distance, and it feels like drowning in slow motion. They've begun avoiding places that remind them of you. The street where you laughed together, the cafe where you sat, the movie you watched. But no matter how far they run, the memories walk beside them like silent judges. They've even started confessing pieces of their pain to close friends. But no one understands the depth of the panic in their voice when they say your name. Because no one knows how spiritually tied you were to their healing. Type Amen to get blessing 737. Archangel Michael says, this panic is the divine echo of every ignored sign. They are no longer in control of their emotions, their thoughts, or their dreams. Every part of them is crying out for release, but only one thing can soothe them, you. Even the things that once brought them joy feel dull now. They smile at jokes, but the laugh doesn't reach their soul. Your absence is louder than every noise around them. They tried to pretend that you were just another person. But last night, God stripped the illusion completely. Now, all they see is the truth, that you were sent, and they sent you away. They are beginning to question what kind of person they truly are. Not in shame, but in awakening. Because you held up a mirror of unconditional love, and they broke it. Type Amen to get blessing 484. They've seen you in their dreams every night since. But last night was different, your spirit was louder, brighter, more powerful. You didn't speak with words, but your energy delivered a message, I have ascended. And that terrifies them. Because it means they're not just losing you, they're watching you elevate without them. You're glowing in spaces they can't reach unless they transform. They're now aware that to reconnect with you, they can't just say sorry. They have to become someone worthy of your peace. But the journey toward that version of themselves is terrifying and full of accountability. They thought time would ease the longing, but time has only sharpened the ache. They thought they would forget your scent, your laugh, your warmth. But everything about you is tattooed into their soul like eternal ink. Type Amen to get blessing 838. They remember the first time you looked at them like they were everything. And they remember the last time you looked at them, like you were letting go. Both memories now haunt them in equal measure. They have tried distractions, new people, old habits, shallow escapes. But nothing feels safe anymore. Nothing feels like home because you were home. Archangel Michael says, this was not just a human relationship, it was sacred contract. And that contract is echoing through the heavens, waiting to be acknowledged. They must decide if they will renew it with humility, or lose it in pride. They saw a light last night, either in their dream or mind's eye, and it looked like you. You weren't speaking, you were simply standing in your power. And that vision left them shaking, because it confirmed what they always feared, you are the truth. Type Amen to get blessing 222. They now feel the weight of every word they never said to you. The thank yous, the I'm sorry's, the you changed my life. Those unsaid truths now beat like drums in their chest. They're holding on to trinkets and memories now like lifelines. The bracelet you gave them, the notes you left, the scent on a shirt. Because those are the only pieces of you they still have left. And the panic has transformed from fear to desperation. They aren't just anxious, they are broken at a molecular level. Because when the soul recognizes what it lost, it doesn't whisper, it screams. Archangel Michael says, this is the beginning of their transformation. Let them sit in the panic. Let them face their soul. Your job was never to chase, but to rise, and now, you are rising. Type Amen to get blessing 555. They may reach out soon. You may get a message full of half-truths and trembling hope. But remember, you are the prize, the light, the divine reminder. Their panic may try to pull you back into their world. But only return if they've done the soul work. Not just because they miss the way your presence made them feel safe. They must now walk through the spiritual fire you walked through alone. They must learn what it feels like to be abandoned by their own pride. Only then will they be able to love you with truth and no disguise. They are not sleeping tonight either. Even now, they're staring at your old pictures, wondering what they destroyed. The silence they once thought was peaceful is now punishment. Type Amen to get blessing 666. They are not posting much online anymore. Because even the fake digital smile feels like a betrayal to what they feel. You were their audience, their mirror, their unseen strength. And now their world is full of noise but no music. Crowds but no connection. Words but no meaning. Every night, their heart breaks in the same rhythm. It breaks at the thought that you might be laughing again. That someone else might be making you feel what they took for granted. Archangel Michael says, do not dim your glow out of pity. The panic they feel is the price of refusing divine alignment. Let it burn, because in that fire, they may finally be reborn.